I was truly giddy in the parking lot of the AMC before going in to see Until Dawn because I was just so excited to be seeing hopefully a riveting, spooky, scary, thrilling film. By the time I finished the film and I was back in the parking lot of the AMC after seeing the film, I was like, okay, well that was something. Until Dawn. Let's discuss. This is a live action remake of a beloved video game called Until Dawn, and apparently they don't really stick to the video game. Weird. Disclaimer, I did not play the video game that this film is based off of. To be honest, I really suck at video games. I mean, I used to play like Super Mario and all of that back in the day, but most recently, I suck. I tried to play It Takes Two about a couple years ago, and I was really bad at that. But after reading about the game, after seeing the movie, I was like, this kind of seems like a really cool, fun game. Like, maybe should I play? If you've played the game, what do you think? Let me know. Does it take a lot of skill? If you like generally enjoy stories and thrills, like, would I have a good time maybe? What do you think? Should I try it? Either way, I was reading that the conceit of the film, which is that this group of kids end up trapped in a house and they repeatedly die, respawn, die again until they can all figure out a way to save themselves and survive until dawn, is not actually what the game is about at all, which is shocking. Because apparently, in the game, if you die, you actually die, which is a very cool concept in my eyes. Again, I didn't play it, but I just feel like we're kind of setting ourselves up for failure here by taking a beloved game and then don't really stick to the game. The formula you've created with the game works, so why are we trying to fix that? Honestly, the whole plot of the film was extremely flimsy. And I get it, right? If the video game, your character dies, then they're erased from the game. And I guess like in a film where it's supposed to be mirroring real life, if the character dies in the film, then they would supposedly die in the real world that this film exists in. But there has to have been a better way to connect the video game to the film. The plot should have and could have been better. I don't know what else to say about it. Until Dawn does this thing that I really hate when films do, which is a very specific thing. But this is obviously supernatural, right? The characters die, they respawn, die again, blah, blah, blah. That in and of itself has a supernatural element to it, duh. And I hate when films take a character and they just like throw in, they're psychic. They have psychic sensibilities. While we are taking the time to talk about said psychic sensibilities, they will not actually play a meaningful role in the plot. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. It just feels like a super cheap plot device. And I'm not asking to be spoon-fed here, but this character was like psychic 1 minute, and then the next minute, like everybody forgot about it, and it just had no real meaning or contributed very little to the story. I just feel like if you're gonna introduce psychic abilities, like maybe make it a meaningful addition to the plot. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. So this group of friends sort of descends into this dilapidated town in search of one of the girl's missing sister. They're trapped at this like house thing, a la Cabin in the Woods. They die horrific deaths, they respawn, they die more horrific deaths. We don't get to see all the horrific deaths because it's very clearly stated that, oh, we only have 13 chances, and we see maybe about, I could be misremembering, but 5 or 6 from each character, and then the rest they sort of watch back in like a found footage horror film type of way, which I thought was a cute nod and like a creative way to show more story but not make your audience really, really tired from just seeing death after death after death after death. So this group has 13 chances to figure out how to survive until dawn and get out alive. And they love each other so much. They say they do. The chemistry between all the characters is super lacking, but they refuse to leave anyone behind. So they have to all get out together or they will all die. The premise was cool, this survive until dawn thing. But there were no stakes. There were no stakes. They tried. They tried to give stakes. You know, there was that whole, hey, this is our last life, and if we don't survive this one, then we're really dead. and like you kind of know where it's going. So no spoilers, but what you think happens happens. The dynamics of the group are so not interesting. In the first scene, they mentioned that one of the group's moms had an affair with another one of the group's dads, and like they never talk about it again. I don't know why it's brought up. Well, I think I know why it's brought up. I think it's brought up because they're trying to say, we're so close, we've been through so much trauma together and nothing can break our bond. And so hopefully the audience buys in when they're like, we will not leave anyone behind. We all have to get out of here together. We all have to survive until dawn together to break the curse and whatever. But I just felt like it was very spoon feeding and very telling. It wasn't showing, they were telling me. And I just didn't like that. I don't like to be told. I like to be shown. And I like to make my own inferences. Opinions. The entire opening scene was so on the nose. And like, I can forgive that if the rest of the plot makes up for that. But the rest of the plot did not. I left that film and I was like, okay, wait. Again, no spoilers, but the explanation they gave for how this was happening and why this was happening was so diluted. And I don't mean like delusional, I mean like diluted. Like it was like this big vat of water and they dropped like a little dropper of vinegar in, and it's suddenly like, oh, can't you taste that? Can't you taste this is vinegar water? And I'm like, no, it just fucking tastes like water to me. That was a bizarre analogy. There were some really wild deaths in here, very creative, very like splatter film in a lot of instances, which like that's cool if that's what you're into. That's not exactly what I'm into, but they were definitely entertaining. And I did like that they paid homage, what it seemed like very intentionally. They have this whole bit with a witch, and like I love witches, and she was scary. She was a scary witch, so I liked that. And again, the found footage, obviously that's a whole subgenre. Monsters, hella monsters in this. And of course, slashers, the masked killer, that single location trapped cabin in the woods vibe. I also will say I loved the end credits. When they first get to the house and they realize something is off here and they see all these missing posters, and then they see the girl that they are in search of. At the end of the film, when they're showing all of the credits, director, producers, costume designers, DP, all of that, they show missing photos that seem to match the names on the screen. I could be wrong. Those photos could have just been random, but it just felt too intentional to not be the people that they were, crediting. But I thought that was cool and creative, and I like that they gave a face to the crew because, everybody always talks about the actors and the people in front of the camera and also the director as well, but it's cool to acknowledge and celebrate the people that like literally make the film happen. So yeah, Until Dawn, didn't play the video game. Should I? Even though I suck at video games. Should you see the movie? I mean, if you want, it's not going to get a recommend from me, which is sad because, again, I was really hyped for it. Anyway, Until Dawn. Have you seen it? What did you think? Have you played the game? What did you think if you've seen the game and if you've seen the movie and played the game? I bet you have a unique experience and opinion, and I'd like to know what that is. Thanks for hanging out, and don't forget to subscribe so we can hang out and talk movies again soon. Happy movie watching.